The topic of this LFL is temptation. So I address two major questions. The first is, how does one overcome temptation? Later, toward the end of the video, I'll also talk about when one should seek counseling. Now, for all of us, it's true that emotions can lead to actions. And in fact, sometimes emotions can rule our actions so that we act without thinking at all. But it's much better if our actions are guided by reason and wisdom. We're nearly always better off in our decisions when our actions flow from reason and reflection rather than emotions. So this is true when we're considering eating too much, right? Our desires and emotions can lead one to do all kinds of foolish and even horrible things. We've all experienced a time when we did something that we didn't really want to do. We did something that we knew was wrong. I know I've done that. I've said something or ate something or did something that I really didn't want to do. And the results can be really problematic. Now, we call this weakness of the will. We do something that we didn't intend or what we knew was wrong, what we didn't want to will. So on the one hand, we did want to do it, but on the other hand, we didn't. Afterwards, we wish we hadn't. We want the ice cream. It's tasty. It's right there in front of us. But reason tells us we've had enough. Now, there are two options for gaining peace about such situations. One is completely wrong, but often promoted. You simply accept yourself as you are in your failures, right? You do what you can to not feel guilty. You tell yourself that what you did wasn't really wrong, right? But there's another approach to address the situation with reason. Now, Socrates spoke about this in his book, The Protagoras. He said, whenever we have a dispute, even if it's within ourselves, such as when our emotions and reasons conflict, the proper result is to measure. And the problem is that when something appears close, it's larger, it appears larger than it really is. So even your thumb can block out the moon if it's close enough to your eye. And so when we think about what we want to avoid, like calories and weight gain, that can be overshadowed by the nearness of the ice cream. For good or for bad, the longer term consequences of our action is often not apparent. So we have the pain of the workout that we're experiencing, but the payoff of the strength and endurance is much later. There's the inconvenience and the expense of the oil change so that we don't want to do it. But if we don't, that's a problem later. This is why we must use our reason to make decisions. We need to reason things through and act accordingly. And when we've acted according to reason, we can be at peace. A final note, when something has become a bad habit or a negative addiction, it often takes additional counsel and a time of confession with others who can relate to your situation. This is something that is often needed in order for you to overcome your habit. Someone else who has wisdom or has gone through what you have can provide advice on staying away from the triggers that prompt the addictive behavior or the habitual action, and how to replace those triggers with positive actions. This is what we need to overcome a serious bad habit or addiction.